Welcome to the X Corner. I'm here adding mutation to the superhero crew. I'll be covering the X comics for the week of December 19th, 2018. This week we have 4 comics. Dead Man Logan number 2, Domino number 9, Iceman number 4, and Uncanny X-Men number 6. Spoilers, of course. First off, I'd like to say that Marvel putting special cover dressing and having the first page dedicated to Stan Lee's passing was a very nice tribute. Well done, Marvel. Now on to the comics. We'll start with Dead Man Logan number 2, written by Ed Brisson, art by Mike Henderson. We start with the bad guys at Neo Hydra, using Mysterio as a party trick to pretend to kill superheroes. Miss Sinister is not impressed with the running of the outfit and thinks she might have made a mistake bringing her weapon here. Back with Old Man Logan and Hawkeye, they are beating up every criminal they can find to try and locate Mysterio. So far, no leads, but lots of busted up bars. They get called back to the X-Mansion, where Forge has a surprise. He was able to fix Maestro's dimensional portal and is able to send Logan back home. Logan says he has some unfinished business first. He has to make sure that Mysterio doesn't do his trick to any unsuspecting Wolverines. They finally get a lead on Mysterio and trace him to Times Square. Logan juices up with Regenix and heads into the fray. Mysterio has some backup though, but Logan leaps in. Hawkeye is trying to tell him it's a trap, but Logan ignores him. Unbeknownst to Logan, he's attacking the Avengers. Oh, that Mysterio. So Logan falls for the same trick twice. Maybe he should kill Mysterio if it's that easy. This is just the second issue in, and I think we're in for a long ride. I hope we get something different than Logan and Hawkeye beat up losers, and the bad guys act like high schoolers. It's already getting very old. This wasn't much of an issue, really. It was very similar to the last one. The art was good, though. I don't think they should have given Brisson 12 issues, though. 6 out of 10. Then there is Domino number 9, written by Gail Simone, with art by David Baldion and Michael Shelfer. The weird Wakandan princess wants Domino to kill Longshot. Domino pretty much says no way. The Wakanda tries to beat Domino in a duel, but loses and decides to actually explain what her deal is. She was possessed by the spirit of the last African bear before it went extinct, and now has precognition for extinction events, and she tries to stop them. She convinces Domino that Longshot will somehow cause an extinction, so Domino agrees to see what's going on. Meanwhile, Longshot seems to be under Mojo's control. When Domino confronts him on top of a partially constructed skyscraper, he sees her as Spiral, and they fight. Both their luck powers bouncing off each other. Eventually we find out that Mojo isn't there, and it's all in Longshot's head. And his luck fails as he trips over a hard hat and falls off the site. This was well written, but the art was so weird. It seems Baldion drew the first 10 pages, then Scheffler took over. It was very jarring. Baldion is so good at drawing all these characters, so when all of a sudden they look so cartoony and off, it really stood out. It took me out so far of the story that I had to fight to get back in. I did enjoy the interplay between the Lucky Mutants. I hope the art issues was a one-off hurried necessity, because it was really, really jarring. 7 out of 10, still for the fun story. Then we have Iceman number 4, written by Sina Grace, art by Nate Stockman. So there's a mutant pride parade going on for some reason, but Iceman goes off to fight Sinister, and he refuses anyone's help to do it. He gets attacked by some mutants who seem to be doing against their will. He fights his way into Sinister's sanctum and is immediately captured. It seems Sinister is trying to clone Bobby since he now believes he is a perfect mutant. He starts to process Bobby, but Iceman disintegrates to Sinister's surprise. This issue was not very good. The mutant pride stuff seemed so tacked on and interspersed between the Iceman action parts to either be preachy or just to fill pages. I'm not sure which. It didn't add anything to the story, that's for sure. The Iceman parts weren't much better as Iceman fought generic monsters. I assume this was an ice dupe the whole time. It was not drawn that great either. We've been spoiled lately with really good X artists, so when you get an average one, you really do take notice. Like here and in Domino's second half. I'm not a fan of Sinister, so that doesn't help either. 6 out of 10. Next we have Uncanny X-Men number 6, written by Ed Brisson, Matt Rosenberg, Callie Thompson, art by Yildiray Sinar. Archangel has been released, and he attacks Magneto. That doesn't mean he's on the X-Men side, though. He's pretty angry that he's been let loose into what he calls his own private hell. He does let the X-Men know where X-Man's base is, so the two teams go to confront him. X-Man comes down like a god from his temple, and Jean tries to reason with him. He tells her he's doing all this because she said there was no hope. He was the old lady talked to her in the first issue. Jean tries to say that he left the conversation before she can complete a thought, but he doesn't listen. The X-Men psychically plot the best way to beat him, but he can hear them, so they just attack right away anyways. This doesn't go well, and they're all just beat down. Jubilee is punched through the temple and lands at the young X-Men's feet. I do find it funny that the X-Men made it to X-Man's base before the young X-Men did, even though they knew about it before then. Armor and the young X-Men with Legion and Madrox walk up to X-Man, who has all the other X-Men at his feet, and she tries to reason with him. She asks why he's doing this, and he explains that he's dying and he wants to leave the world a better place. But you can't create new without destroying the old. Legion has had enough and tries to send X-Men back to the Age of Apocalypse from whence he came. But something goes wrong and the young X-Men are transformed into Age of Apocalypse versions of themselves. Thank God for Uncanny X-Men. This week was looking pretty lackluster, but this was another great issue. I like where this is going. The young X-Men are feeling more like the old New Mutants now, trying to stand apart from the old X-Men. X-Man himself is interesting in his frankness, and the scene where he just hears the X-Men psychically planning session was pretty funny. Like Legion himself, it's always interesting to have the X-Men go up against an impossible odds only to find a solution eventually. I think the best is yet to come. This run has a feeling of a classic, much like Age of Apocalypse, so I can't wait for more. 8 out of 10. This week wasn't great, but between Uncanny and the end of the Extinction event, I talk about that one in a separate video, we did get some really good stuff to make up for the mediocre. Next week is Christmas, and there are only 2 X comics, so I'll defer them to the week after and take a week off. Everyone have a safe and happy holiday season, and I'll be back in 2019.